Let's move to that game. Patriots Broncos, which was not nearly as compelling as Rams Seahawks, but visually compelling on the second half with all of the snow, but not a great game overall. And one of the reasons why is that, Lawrence, the Patriots offense was not really at the races, and they didn't have a backup quarterback in. They had Drake Maye, who's going to finish top 2 in MVP. And for the third game in a row, the Patriots offense did not look fantastic. Now they've gone up against 3 of the best defenses in football, and the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos in this playoff run. But how concerned are you that Drake Maye and the Pats, they weren't able to get it going, particularly in the first half before the weather really kicked in?
Yeah, I would be a little concerned because, like you said, Jay, they did play up against 3 of the best defenses in the NFL. But at the same time, that's 3 games in a row when you got a guy, when you got an offense that's led by an MVP candidate, in 3 games, you want to get something going. Not the case here for Drake Maye, 10 for 21, 86 passing yards. But the key here was the 65 rushing yards, and was able to pick up those timely first downs, including the one on the Patriots last drive that did seal the deal. So that's always going to be in play for him, and that's going to be in play for Drake Maye in the Super Bowl. But going to that other side of this game, the Broncos, and we was just talking about the Rams going for it for 2. I 100% felt like the Rams, who again are the Rams with Matthew Stafford, should have went for it on 4th down. Sorry, not 2. They should have went for it on 4th down. That offense was going right. On the other side, the Broncos had a chance to go up 2 scores early. They didn't do it, and in the play call to go for it on 4th down to put the ball in Jarrett Stidham's hands. Now that one was risky. That one I was scratching my head on, and it kind of bit them later down in the line, because that one turnover that Jarrett Stidham had, that really cost them the game. And there you go again, Patriots defense handling business.
Yeah, it's interesting about that. Let's talk about that not going for it. Going for it on 4th down instead of kicking the field goal when they're up 7-0. The Broncos. Excuse me.
All right. I'll weigh in there while Matthew recovers. I think I agree with you, Lawrence, that I think that it was the play call more than anything, right? It was the fact that I'm okay with the decision to go for it there. I understand that, they don't score again after that, and so it looks bad in retrospect, particularly given how the conditions set in. And there is one line of thinking that it's like, well, it's going to be so hard to score in the second half with the conditions that you have to take the points in the first half when you can get them. The other line of thinking is that we're so close to the end zone. 7 here is going to be so incredibly valuable because of how hard it's going to be to score in the second half. So I think ultimately I would have gone for it there. It's just that I wouldn't have had Jarrett Stidham roll out to throw a pass in that situation. I think that in that spot, you more rely on having one of the best offensive lines in football and being able to run the ball to get 1 yard. So ultimately, I don't think that the decision was egregious in either direction. I think both were defensible. It's just that it didn't work out, and it looked particularly bad the way that it didn't work out because Stidham rolled out and almost threw a pick on the play, Matthew.
That's the point. I think the play call is the more egregious part here. I don't mind them going for it. I know a lot of people were saying, hindsight's 20/20. The thing that I think is interesting, I think he might have gotten the first down on 3rd down. I was very surprised. CBS showed one replay, just very, very quickly, one replay of him running out towards the sideline, and he slid, and they marked it short. I think would have been nice to get another look at that. I don't know what you guys saw, but it looked like he was pretty close to the first down. And honestly, if I'm Sean Payton to that point, given the fact that you're with a backup quarterback, you're a home underdog with a backup quarterback, I might have thrown a challenge flag there and said, hey, can we review that? Taking a time, it's the first half. Take a timeout. Take a look at it. Or even just take a timeout and see if replay assist bails you out or anything like that. I don't know. It was interesting, but it is weird that why not run like a even if you don't do it with Stidham, surely you got somebody there that can do a QB sneak, one of your, Adam Trotman or something like that, one of their bigger players there. That was the biggest issue, I think, is the fact that, the play call was so bad. One other thing that I will just say here, and this was something that was going on in the Football Night in America group chat that Jay Croucher is not a part of, is we were debating this back and forth. And the argument was that, some coaches are like, you know what, given the new kickoff rules, that you'd rather, like, if you don't get it, if you go for it on fourth down and you don't get it, you'd rather have the guys pinned there inside the 10-yard line or whatever it is, rather than having to kick off. You score 3, okay, and you kick off, and now the other team has the ball at the 30, 35, something like that. So, but what was interesting is that, and I don't, it's a private group chat, so I don't want to get into it, but some of the people on the chat that are former NFL players or coaches just talked about, and specific players like, yeah, but you don't understand like what it means to the team to get stopped on fourth down. That there's just sort of a deflating nature of that versus, hey man, we drove down and we got points. And I'd never thought about it that way, which I think is really interesting. That's right, that there's just sort of a momentum suck. And even though you can sit here logically say like, okay, we're fine, but now they've still got to go 90 something yards to get a touchdown or get a score. But still, like, there's something deflating about like, man, we were rolling, right? Yep. And like you felt like, damn, I think the Broncos are going to win this game.
Yeah,
and they still should have, honestly.
Like another point, I 100% agree with that fact about the not getting it on 4th and 1 is a big deflation for the team. But then your defense is playing well when the weather was better. So like you certainly would have felt better about the defense when the weather got bad. So it's just it's over now. But just seeing the final score 10-7, it's got to eat at them.
Yeah, they easily had a chance to win this game. I think there's a lot of missed opportunities there, a lot of interesting calls that just felt like every single bounce, every single call that could have gone either way all went towards the Patriots here.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.